So I just got done watching a video from a feminist video from Brown University. I don't know the speaker's name, but I know she's a black feminist who's wrote many books on black feminism, respectability, politics, and hip hop. When I watched the video, the lecture, I can partially agree with the feminists when it comes to respectability in the sense of white folks, in the sense of black folks. No matter what you do, how you dress or how you talk, and even how Obama talks down to black folks. No matter how well we do, we're still going to be seen as the niggas to white folks. White folks are still going to disrespect us. White folks are going to find any way to sabotage our improvements, and they will never see us as equals or in any positive way. If white folk. When you think about it, a lot of white folks buy hip hop, music. They buy it. A lot of the mainstream rappers. Their target audience is really white folks, white kids. And imagine if white kids weren't even into rap, they really weren't into it. They didn't even listen to it in the dark or when nobody know. And imagine if white kids were putting all those millions of dollars um, into helping black kids, sponsoring black kids into STEM programs and you know, you know, starting robot leagues and finding cures of diseases with black doctors and all that stuff. Imagine if that money was allocated to other more positive means. you know, white, white folks, and when white folks invest more stupidity on, rap and negative black culture than anything positive. Despite the bullshit you see on Fox News of, oh, these blacks need to dress better. They need to stop sagging their pants, even when, they'll still find something wrong with you, even if you're not sagging your pants. In the Trayvon Martin incident and the Mike Brown, murders, that was a perfect example of how useless respectability politics is for blacks trying to impress whites. But anyways, during her lecture, this feminist lecture, she was talking about how hip hop um, tries to police women and tell black women to cover up, don't be a hoe, don't have multiple kids by multiple fathers, um, be married, have children after you're married. And it's funny how she listed all these topics, yet she never debunked any of it. Like, she never said anything like, oh, well, who gives a rat's ass if you're not married and you have 4 kids? It doesn't matter. Funny how these feminists will always get butthurt when men say this stuff, but they can't give a good rebuttal of they can't give a good rebuttal of, oh, you know there's no difference between being married with 4 kids versus being single with 4 kids. They can't rebuttal it. They'll bring up like personal examples, but since they love to do research, I would love for them to survey 1,000 um, four parents with four who have 4 kids, and I can bet you at least 70% of the married couples who have 4 kids have a better job and have a better lifestyle, and the kids are in better conditions, living well, and they have privileges, more privileges than the impoverished kids who are living with a single mom, and they can't rebuttal that. And to me, it's funny how these feminists will always come at you like, "Oh, stop blaming women," And I did some notes, this feminist was talking about, respectability politics limits black women's sexuality, and respectability politics came from white folks trying to justify why black folks are inferior, and then it transitioned to elite black folks criticizing poor black folks, and they were trying to make it seem like respectability politics is for coons. I mean, I can. The thing is that I'm half and half with respectability politics. What I don't disagree with respectability politics is when it comes to trying to be better people for white folks. I don't agree with. There's nothing you can do to impress white folks. But when it comes to worrying about our race and black folks only, yeah, I strongly believe in respectability politics. I strongly believe that a black woman should value her body. She should not have tattoos. She should, reserve her sex life and not be given up willy nilly, because even with feminist ideology and bullshit and propaganda that they spread, is like, what's the point of a woman? Because with me is like, I don't understand what's the point of having sex with all these people, especially men, when you say all these men are bad, they promote rape culture, they're misogynist. So if all these men are not treating women right, I mean, would a logical feminist be like, well, hey, I think we should be more conservative with our bodies because these men don't deserve it. But they want to think off emotions, and these feminists just want to bait an argument. And so to me, they'll be getting all these books, and they'll be doing all these research papers talking about misogyny, but it's funny when they talk about respectability politics and sexuality of women. They're like, oh no, they should be willy nilly. They should be doing whatever they want. But you just said there weren't a lot of good men out there. My bad. I'm just seeing how much energy I have left on this phone. I think I have 7%. But anyways, she was going down the line. I don't really find black feminists to be that intellectual. It seems like they make up a lot of stuff as they go. But the funny thing about with this woman, when she was talking about respectability politics, it was like I was thinking to myself, like, why would she be offensive when somebody says, that women should dress appropriately and conservatively? Because when you're going out with your colleagues, your professional colleagues, your academically professional colleagues, or you're just teaching a class, you're not going to be wearing fishnets and a mini skirt, or you're going to be wearing a shirt that exposes your belly. You're not going to be wearing tights, leggings. You're not going to be, well, at least by itself. You're not going to be. There's guidelines on how faculty should dress, and you know that the way you dress levels yourself above the playing field of, I demand respect, I am the authority. And so you know, why would you want to lie to yourself and say that, oh, it doesn't matter? You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But but the video was very interesting. I just find that a lot of these black feminists are very flawed because they contradict themselves so much. But to me, it's like if you put 100 idiots in the same room, they will swear they're intelligent. I don't find a lot of these feminists to be intelligent. I feel like they make stuff up as they go along. Um, there's some, like every blue moon, there's some things I can agree with feminists, but majority of the time it's like I can't agree, because we need respectability politics, because You can't tell me that a woman who makes bad dating decisions is equivalent to a woman who is chaste, and she comes from a stable two-parent household, and she's making straight A's. She has goals for herself. You can't tell me that a goal-oriented woman is equivalent to some hood rat in Chicago or Valdosta, Georgia, who gets trained every week. You can't compare those two. You know, and this is why a lot of black women lose in the dating game because they don't mature. They don't get it. They don't want. They get it, but they don't want to mature. You know, just like black men are leveled and their finger wave would. And this is the thing. A lot of black feminists will talk about double standards and and how unfair it is. But then again, it's like you guys wave your fingers at black men. Even just black women in general. A lot of these black women, they don't like niggas who sag their pants. They don't like niggas who aren't Christian. They don't like niggas who live with their mom. They don't like niggas who don't have jobs. They don't like niggas who are broke. They, you know, but let a black man say, hey, I don't like a woman who has 4 kids by 4 different men, and all of a sudden it's crying of patriarchal misogyny. It's like, man, stop it. You want to give men all these ridiculous standards. I mean, not ridiculous, but like normal standards. But we can't treat you normally. We can't give you standards. You're above reproach because you want to hide under the allure of being a black woman, and because of slavery, and a lot of these black feminists, they will over exaggerate shit like, oh, because of slavery, black women were forced to be conservative, and they were forced to identify with whiteness, and respectability politics is a a mechanism of white supremacy. I'm like, stop it. I hate these overzealous black folks, especially black women, who have to throw everything out the water just because the white folks do it. Some black feminists will see a white couple get married, and they'll throw it right out the window. Oh, marriage is so patriarchal. It's meaningless. You know, it it demonizes women. It's a slave. It's a form of gender slavery. But those same black feminists have no problem with child support. They have no problem with abortion. They have no problem blaming with the system, the court system. They have no problem with men paying child support for a kid that isn't theirs. They have no problem. You don't see no black feminists up and roar against unfair treatment of black fathers, especially. They ain't making no angry plea deals about how unfair it is for fathers to not see their kids when they want to take care of them. See double standards right there. But man, I'm just gonna end this here.